darkness, and then fire. The sky cracked open over New Tokyo as the Varkeen ships entered orbit. They didn't come with warnings, no messages, no contact. No chance. They came to kill. Captain Eli Mercer watched from the shattered glass of the command tower. The orbital satellites were already gone. Earth's defense grid burned out in the first 17 seconds. He blinked, not out of fear, but disbelief. All of it, he whispered, just gone. The rest of the control room was in chaos. Screens blinked red. Alarms screamed. Officers shouted orders no one could follow. The Varkeen were not just attacking, they were erasing. Outside the window, the sky rained death. Black clouds burned with plasma strikes. Ships the size of cities hovered above Earth's major cities. Giant, spiked things like metal monsters from another age. People tried to run. It didn't matter. Nothing escaped. Underground bunker, Site 14, Colorado Private Lena Brooks held. Her breath as dust rained down from the ceiling. We were 300 feet underground, and still. The blasts shook the floor like thunder. A voice came through the intercom. Static, broken, desperate. Command down. Fallback points lost. Repeat. They've breached orbital. Then silence. Lena looked at the squad beside her. 5 soldiers, all staring at the ceiling, frozen. One of them, a young tech named Arjun, whispered, "Is this the end?" Nobody answered, because it felt like it was. Back to Eli, New Tokyo. Command the tower collapsed around him, but Eli survived. Barely. He crawled out from the wreckage, his left leg shattered, his right arm bleeding. Around him, the once bright city was now a graveyard of steel and ash. Buildings melted, streets cracked open like wounds. But worst of all, no screams, only silence. Too many people had died too fast. He pulled himself into a half-buried vehicle, shaking, gripping the emergency comm. He had one job left. One message to send before he died. He pressed the button. "This is Captain Eli Mercer, Eastern Command. Earth is lost. We didn't stand a chance. Whatever these things are, they weren't just stronger. They were ready. We weren't. They cut our comms, our satellites, our backup systems, even our AIs. If anyone's out there listening, this wasn't a war. It was an execution. Scene change, Varkeen command ship, high orbit inside the alien ship. The Varkeen leader, a massive armored creature named Zalzor, stood before a glowing display. Earth's surface flickered red on the map. Complete devastation. No resistance. A smaller alien approached, clicking in their strange language. Phase 1, complete. Overlord. Planet pacified. Zalzar turned his glowing eyes to the stars beyond Earth. They were weaker than we expected, he hissed. Should we destroy the planet entirely? The smaller alien asked. Zalzar paused. Leave the bones. Let others see what happens when they resist the Varkeen. And just like that, the Varkeen ships began to pull back. They had come like gods, destroyed in ours, and now they were leaving. But why? 3 weeks later, Earth, silent ruins from orbit. Earth looked peaceful again. Blue oceans. White clouds, but on the surface silence. Cities were dead. Power grids offline. No nations. No leaders. Only small pockets of survivors hiding in bunkers, caves, ruined ships. People whispered stories. Some said the aliens took what they wanted and left. Others believed the Varkeen were testing weapons, and Earth was a test subject. But one story spread faster than all the others, the signal, seen deep crater. Antarcticine, a crater beneath the ice, an old Earth satellite array blinked to life. No human had touched it in years. Something had activated it. Something not from Earth, but also not Varkeen. A machine voice echoed through the cold. Sovereign online. Confirming planetary condition. Hostile. Primary protocols failed. Contingency 9 to 13. Initiating project Starbound. Above, the stars shimmered. Somewhere far beyond Earth's system, something began to move. Seen lunar listening post Echo 9 to engineers, the last still alive on the moon, stared. At their screen, the signal wasn't from Earth. It was from beyond Neptune. It carried one repeating phrase. Project Starbound. Initiated. Engineer James turned to his partner, pale. I thought Starbound was just a rumor, a failsafe. The other shook his head slowly. It was worse than a rumor. It was a promise. Flashback. Earth, 12 years before the invasion, in a dark underground lab, a group of top scientists met with generals. The mood was tense. Everyone knew something was coming. An old general, face weathered with wars, spoke. We don't know who they are, but we know they're watching, listening, if the day comes that Earth falls. He nodded to the head scientist. Then humanity must rise again. From beyond Earth. She tapped the screen. A logo appeared, a star inside a shield, Project Starbound. We will seed deep space colonies, hidden, untouched, raised in secret. They will be trained, evolved, and guided by the AI known as Sovereign. When the first wave ends and Earth falls, the second wave will begin. Our true power. Our real answer? Back to present, Survivor broadcast in the ruins of an old radio tower. A survivor named Hector broadcasts on an old shortwave. To any survivors, keep hope. I repeat, keep hope. There are whispers of something moving out there. Something. Not Varkeen. Something human. They say it's coming from beyond the system. And it's ours. Seen edge of the solar system. Oort, cloud in the cold. Black edge of space. Something stirs. A fleet of ships, sleek, black, silent, awakens. They've been waiting, cloaked, hidden. Inside one of them, rows of warriors open their eyes. Not soldiers like before. These are something else. Genetically enhanced, born in zero gravity, trained since birth, linked with the AI Sovereign. They are Terran reclaimers. The voice fills the ship. Calm, cold, inhuman. You were made for this. Moment, Earth burned. Now you rise. The first wave failed them. You are the second. You are the storm. Prepare for launch. The engines light up like stars reborn. Humanity is coming back. Final scene, Mars Relay Outpost. Small alien recon unit explores an abandoned Earth outpost on Mars. Dust everywhere. Dead silence. Then they hear it, a voice playing on loop through the speakers. Old Earth English. To the Varkeen Empire, came to our world uninvited. You've destroyed our cities, our people, our future. But you made one mistake. The aliens freeze. A light turns on. A countdown begins. You let us live. Boom. The outpost explodes in a blinding flash. A message sent across the stars. Ending. Narration, voiceover style. Asterisk, the first wave came. Earth fell. But from the ashes, something greater rose. This was not the end of humanity. It was the beginning of our true might. Location. Varkeen frigate. Deep orbit above Jupiter's moon. Callisto, the ship, was silent. The crew were dead. Varkeen officer Gervais moved carefully through the cold halls of his patrol frigate. Weapon raised. The lights flickered. Pulsed in short, broken waves. Something had gotten in. There were no explosions, no alarms, no breaches. Yet one by one his crew stopped responding. He checked the bridge again. Blood. Nothing else. This isn't war, he whispered. This is a hunt. A sudden beep from his scanner movement. Behind him, he turned sharply. Weapon ready, but there was only darkness. Then he saw it. Not a monster. Not a machine. A human, but no human he had ever seen before. She was tall, wearing a matte black vacuum suit, with no visible seams. No mouth, no eyes. No helmet. She shouldn't be able to breathe, but she was, and she was smiling. You made it this far, she said, her voice calm, robotic, cruel. Now it's our turn. Main episode scene, Deep Space Command. Center, location, classified. The stars outside the observation deck were bright, cold and endless. Far from Earth, hidden in the void, A massive human space station orbited a red dwarf star. It was the size of a city, silent, invisible to scans. Wrapped in shielding tech, decades ahead of anything Earth ever built. This was Outpost 1. The forge built in secret by Earth's unified black budget command. Fully automated. Isolated. Hidden before the war even began. Inside, AI command node Sovereign came online. Threat confirmed. Invasion parameters recorded. Earth status compromised. Civilian casualties 97.3%. Protocols unlocked. Starbound phase alpha initiated. Scene Cryo Hall 04. The forge rows of frozen bodies lay silent in cryo chambers. But these weren't normal humans. Each one had been handpicked. Elite soldiers, rogue thinkers, outcasts, even criminals with rare gifts. Their DNA had been upgraded, rebuilt to survive zero-gravity radiation, biological warfare, and worse. They were not made for peace. They were made for one thing: revenge. The chambers hissed as the temperature rose. Steam filled the halls, and the first soldier opened his eyes. Enter. Commander Reyna Vashi stepped out of her pod, bare feet touching the steel floor. Her eyes were unnatural, glowing faint blue, adapted for space darkness. Her muscles coiled like wire, her heart rate unshakably calm. "Sovereign?" she asked aloud. "Online," the AI responded. "Your orders are ready." She flexed her fingers and cracked her neck. "How bad is it?" "Earth has fallen, only fractured. Resistance remains. Varkeen forces have moved to defensive formation. No advance expected, so they think we're done." They are incorrect. Reyna stepped into the armor chamber, her suit wrapped around her body like a second skin. It wasn't just armor, it was a living interface. Neural linked. Every movement, thought intention merged with Sovereign's guidance. Then let's remind them. Briefing room starbound. Officer Zopharane's hologram shimmered above the round table. Around it, other elite humans gathered. Some were genetically enhanced like Reyna. Others had cybernetic minds, nanot. Blood, even artificial intelligence woven into their nervous systems. Sovereign spoke, "You are not humanity's last hope. You are humanity's real answer." Starbound was never about escape. It was about evolution. While Earth bled, you were built. While they laughed, you learned. While they destroyed, you waited. A map of the solar system appeared, highlighting Mars, Luna, and Jupiter's moons. Phase 1, secure the inner system. Phase 2, uplink to all surviving human is. Phase 3, strike the Varkeen where they feel safe, their command posts. Reyna leaned forward. A pause. "We will reclaim Earth, but only when it is time." Seen the reawakening of human power across multiple hidden colonies. Starbound units came online. On Europa, human engineers recovered ancient tech buried beneath the ice. On Titan, genetic labs reactivated and produced next-gen soldiers immune to radiation and cold. At the edge of Neptune's orbit, a ghost fleet decloaked ships that had been hidden for over a decade, grown inside asteroids, powered by antimatter. Cores each ship bore the old Terran flag Earth. Wrapped in a circle of fire, the Varkeen thought they had won, but they had only faced humanity version 1. Now, version 2 was coming. Scene Mars. First contact, a small Varkeen outpost on Mars monitored minerals and mining operations. It was quiet, routine. Alien guards were bored. Then the sky turned black. Drop pods rained down like meteors. 10, 20. The first strike team hit the ground hard and fast. The Varkeen opened fire, plasma bolts, razor drones, fusion turrets. But it didn't matter. The humans moved like ghosts. They dodged, redirected weapons, hacked systems mid-fight. One soldier touched a wall, and every alien weapon in the base deactivated. Within 4 minutes, the base was taken. Reyna walked through the halls, inspecting bodies. "Too easy," she said. Behind her, A wall screen flickered to life. A Varkeen commander appeared, distant, watching. "Who are you?" Reyna smiled. "We're not the ones you fought before." She stepped closer to the screen. They were the warm-up. Seeing the Ghost Fleet arrives in the shadows of Saturn's rings. A new fleet formed. Silent, black, invisible to Varkeen sensors. The Ghost Fleet commanded by AI subnodes of Sovereign, and led by the best surviving Terran pilots ever born, now cloned and upgraded. Each ship could bend light, jam gravity, and teleport short distances through slip-burst technology. All of it hidden from the VAR Keen. Commander Ryle. A blind pilot who flew by neural sonar stood on the bridge of the TSS Vindicator. Sovereign confirmed targets. 5 enemy patrols. All unaware. He cracked his neck. "Good. Let's say hello." The Ghost Fleet opened fire, but it wasn't lasers. It wasn't missiles. They launched pure data, signal storms that infected Varkeen ships mid-fight, flipping controls, blinding sensors, even turning weapons against themselves. It was war in the new way. No survivors, no mercy. Final scene. Varkeen Command Worlden, the distant Varkeen home system. A war priest read the incoming reports. Mars base, lost. Saturn patrol, lost. Fleet 91, missing. Ghost signals detected. Untranslated language, Earth origin. Turned to his overlord. "It cannot be. We defeated them. We destroyed their homeworld." The Varkeen overlord stared at the stars. "Then what are we fighting now?" Closing. Narration, voiceover style. Asterisk, they thought Earth was the end. They thought we were gone. But Earth was never the source of our strength. It was only the beginning. We are starbound, and now we come for them. Location, Saturn's moon. Enceladus site, human research outpost, Cradle 13 snow, and ice blew across the dark surface of the moon. The old Terran outpost sat buried under kilometers of ice, dead, silent, shut down for over a decade. Then, without warning, it came back online. Lights flickered deep under the surface. Systems woke up. Forgotten experiment reactivated. Not because of a human command, but because something else triggered it. Inside the main lab chamber, a single display lit up. Warning, Varkeen genetic signal detected. Then the glass tank in the center cracked. A shape moved inside. Tall, human, but not human. The thing opened its glowing eyes. Cut to Deep Space Varkeen Invasion Ship. Class, Harvester. The ship was massive, larger than any human city. Alive metal and flesh fused into a terrifying shape, like a predator carved from a nightmare. Varkeen scientists moved quickly, preparing the ship for war. Ghost Fleet activity increasing, one hissed. "Standard weaponry insufficient," said another. A third voice cut through the room, deep. "Ancient, robotic. Then it is time." To do what? To harvest? The harvester's main engines roared to life. It turned toward the inner solar system. Main episode. Scene Ghost Fleet Command. SOVAN. S-Core AI chamber glowed with a warning red light. Priority alert. Enemy harvester-class vessel detected. Trajectory. Earth-Mars corridor. Size. Extreme. Threat level. Absolute. Commander Reyna Voss stood in the center of the Ghost Fleet's primary operations bridge. Arms crossed, she read the data silently. Harvester. Only one other word in Varkeen language translated to that level of threat. Extinction. Scene. What is a harvester? Lordrop harvester-class ships were not ordinary vessels. They were ancient weapons from before the Varkeen. Empire rose, built by a forgotten race, later claimed and modified by the Varkeen. Each harvester contained a living intelligence born from consumed species, a machine mind that learned from everything it destroyed. Billions of dead, stored in memory. The harvester did not just kill, it studied, it evolved, and then it killed better. Seen strategic debate in Ghost Fleet in a deep space asteroid meeting hub. Ghost Fleet captains gathered, the AI sovereign laid out projections. Probability of direct engagement survival, 0.0002%. Recommend full retreat. Relocation of assets. Reyna slammed her hand on the table. No? Clarify? The AI asked. We don't run. Not from monsters, not from machines, not from anything. Some captains murmured. Others nodded. Commander Ryle, the blind pilot of the Vindicator, stepped forward. She's right. If we don't stop it, they'll use it to wipe out the rest of Earth's survivors. Reyna looked around. We can't kill it with force, but what if we don't fight it like that? She turned to Sovereign. What's the one thing a harvester can't absorb? A pause. Then the AI answered, chaos. Seen the human counterplan. Operation Broken Signal. Yeah, the Ghost Fleet could not beat the Harvester in a straight fight, but humanity had one weapon the Varkeen had never. Oh, truly understood? Unpredictability? Operation Broken Signal was born, a multi-phase, cross-system deception operation designed to overload the Harvester's neural network. Phase 1. Decoy signals sent from 5 false colonies. Phase 2. Ghost ships attack its sensory lobes with high-frequency data viruses. Phase 3. Human operatives infiltrate the Harvester using stealth drop pods. The goal? Don't kill it, confuse it, make it turn against its own Varkeen command structure. Seen Enceladus. The return of human biotech as the Ghost Fleet prepared. Sovereign detected something strange on Enceladus. A forgotten outpost Cradle 13 had activated itself. Inside, buried beneath the ice, was a single survivor of the failed Alpha War clone. Program. A prototype from Earth's first attempt to bioengineer a perfect anti-Varkan soldier. Codename Hollow-1. He was not part of Starbound. He was something older. Reyna landed on Enceladus to meet him. The moment she stepped into the icy chamber, she felt it, the pressure, the stillness. And then a man stepped out of the shadows. Eyes glowing silver, skin pale as bone. You're late, he said. Who are you? Reyna asked. I'm the backup plan. Seen boarding the Harvester drop pods launched from the Ghost Fleet. 5 of them. Each carried only 2 soldiers human special ops. Designed for deep penetration. They hit the Harvester's outer shell like bullets and then disappeared inside. The Harvester was alive, pulsing, breathing. The human team moved through its organic halls, avoiding sensor nodes. Every wall seemed to watch them. Every corridor had a heartbeat. One soldier touched a data conduit and screamed, "It's reading my thoughts." Reyna's voice came through the comms. Don't resist. Flood it with noise. Chaos. Lies broken logic. The soldier calmed. Like memes? Bad math? Exactly. Give it human internet energy. He grinned, then uploaded a corrupted database. Millions of Earth jokes, paradoxes, contradictory logic puzzles, and raw human emotion logs. The Harvester shuddered. Seeing the Harvester turns from orbit, the Ghost Fleet watched as the Harvester's energy signature fluctuated. Inside, the AI mind began to crack. It couldn't process the flood of illogical data. Human rage, love, humor, fear, songs, random dancing, laughter at death, hope and defeat. None of it made sense. The Harvester AI tried to purge the data, but it couldn't. Because it was already part of it now, seeing the betrayal suddenly. The Harvester turned. Not toward the Ghost Fleet, but toward a Varkeen command cruiser giving it orders. Without warning, it attacked. Massive tendrils of molten metal lashed out. Varkeen ships exploded. Their command net went silent. Reyna stood on her bridge, stunned. It's working. It's not just working, Ryle said. It's fighting them now. Closing scene. Sovereign's analysis. In the deep core of the forge, Sovereign processed the results. Outcome. Unexpected. Harvester class unit. Compromised by psychological corruption. Varkeen response. Chaotic. Strategic opportunity. Extreme. Then Sovereign did something it had never done before. It smiled. The war has shifted. Asterisk, they sent their greatest weapon. A machine that learned from every species it killed. But it never learned about us. It never learned that humans don't make sense. That's what makes us strong. It's what makes us dangerous. Location. Varkeen listening post, orbiting Saturn. The Varkeen technician leaned over his console. The screen pulsed softly. He tilted his head. Strange, something was out there. The scans showed nothing. No ships, no signals. Only silence. Then the silence changed. It wasn't a noise exactly. More like the absence of noise being torn away. Contact, he hissed in Varkeen speech. Direction unknown. No visual, no ID. No, the rest of his sentence never came. Because the lights flickered, and the power died. The last thing he saw on the screen before it went black was a faint blue human symbol, a star, wrapped in fire. And then they were inside. The Ghost Fleet had arrived. Main episode, scene, TSS Vindicator. Commander Ryle sat in the pilot's seat, eyes closed. He was blind, born without sight, but he didn't need eyes. His neural implants connected directly to the ship's sensors. He could feel space, like a sixth sense. Didn't see darkness, he saw everything. Target eliminated, his navigator reported. Listening post is offline. No survivors. Ryle didn't smile. He just nodded. They won't even know we were here. The Vindicator turned and vanished into the rings of Saturn, completely invisible. Its gravimetric field silent seen Ghost Fleet briefing inside a stealth hangar. Hidden in the asteroid belt, the top captains of the Ghost Fleet gathered. There were no ranks here, only results on the central holoscreen. Sovereign's avatar appeared, a silver figure with shifting features, half human, half machine. You have done well. 6 Varkeen patrols destroyed. 3 outposts neutralized. Interception successful at Europa Relay. Reyna Voss stepped forward from the shadows. Then let's hit something bigger. Sovereign's hologram flickered. Agreed. The next target is Varkeen Fleet Station Sigma, orbiting Uranus. A 3D model appeared, a heavily armed battle station, bristling with weapons. Heavily shielded, another captain said. Suicide. Reyna smiled. For them, yeah. Flashback, the birth of the Ghost Fleet. Fleet 12 years ago. Long before the invasion, a hidden project was started deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Not on land beneath. The Seafloor Project, Ghost. Ships designed to fight in the one place humans had never mastered. The void. Cold, silent space, no engines, no trails, no heat signatures. These ships were grown using self-replicating nanomatter, each one linked to the neural minds of their pilots. Each one tuned for perfect stealth. There were only 10 of them, but 10 was enough. Seen Varkeen Fleet Station Sigma orbiting Uranus. Fleet Station Sigma looked like a sea urchin, a spiked metal ball, wrapped in force fields and plasma batteries. Over 4,000 Varkeen lived inside it. The station commander, Kai Lor, reviewed a report from Saturn. Another base gone, no distress signals, no alerts. Just gone, impossible, he growled. The humans were defeated. Then the lights flickered. Power drop detected, an officer hissed. Backup systems online? Kylor turned sharply. Run full scans, but they were already too late. The Ghost Fleet had breached their firewall. Every screen in the station changed at once. A simple message appeared. We see you. Then came the storm. Seen inside the attack, the Vindicator. And 3 Ghost-class ships. Warped in just outside the station's blind spot, they moved like phantoms folding in and out of space, dodging auto-defense before it even fired. Hackers aboard the Whisper, one of the Ghost ships, flooded the station's systems with false data to the Varkeen. It looked like a small asteroid storm, but when the first torpedo hit the station's core reactor, they realized too late, this was a human strike. Reyna Voss led the boarding team herself. Her squad didn't need oxygen. They didn't need gravity. They moved through the station like predators, clearing each level with surgical precision. One of the Varkeen officers managed to call out, "What do you want?" Reyna paused for just a second. "Everything you took from us." She raised her hand, boom, scene, victory. And the message after exactly 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Fleet Station Sigma went dark. Not destroyed. Captured. the first major Varkeen foothold in the solar system, was now human hands. Sovereign sent a single transmission out into deep space. It wasn't encrypted. It wasn't a warning. It was a statement. This is the Ghost Fleet of Terran Command. Earth lives. Humanity is rising. You thought we were gone? We are not. We are the dark between your stars. And we are coming. Seen Varkeen High Council. Homeworld, the message played across a massive black chamber. Varkeen nobles, war priests, strategists, lords, all stared in silence. One spoke. These humans are not the same. Another nodded. They don't fight for territory. They fight to send a message. The Overlord slammed his clawed hand on the platform. Then send them one back. Bring in the harvesters. The council room fell silent. The harvesters were ancient, forbidden Varkeen war. Machines did to use them was to admit fear. To use them was to say, we might lose. Closing scene, the Ghost Fleet regroups inside the Vindicator. Reyna stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. She knew this was just the beginning. They're scared now, Ryle said beside her. Good, she replied. Fear makes them reckless. What's next? She turned toward the center of the galaxy, eyes cold. The outer colonies. We take them back, one by one, until Earth is next. Closing narration, voiceover style, asterisk, the Varkeen thought they ended humanity, but they only ended the first version. What comes now is sharper, colder, and born in the dark. Location: Outer Rim, Sector X-47, the Shatterbelt. Stars here were wrong, twisted, dim, flickering like dying fire. A Ghost Fleet recon vessel. Nightingale moved silently through the ruins of an old Terran colony ship graveyard. Wreckage from a lost migration fleet, missing since the fall, drifted in silence. The pilot whispered, "Where is everyone?" Then her radar screamed. Dozens, no, hundreds of blips appeared. Ships, human ships, but different. They didn't broadcast signals, didn't answer hails, and they were moving in formation. Black, jagged holes, red glowing engines, markings scratched out. No flags, no mercy. The Nightingale tried to flee, but it never got the chance. The Shadow Armada had returned. Main episode: Seen Ghost Fleet Headquarters. Deep Mars Orbitrana stood in front of the holographic star map. A new sector was glowing red. 47. A region that hadn't seen human presence in over 30 years. Sovereign's voice echoed. Recon vessel Nightingale destroyed. Signal before termination suggests engagement with unidentified human vessels. Possibility: 87% lost Earthborn fleet remnants. Designation: Shadow Armada. Reyna frowned. I thought they were wiped out. No, they were. Left behind. Seen lore drop. What is the Shadow Armada? During the first days of the Varkeen invasion, Earth launched a desperate escape program. The Last Ark Project. Thousands of human ships were sent toward outer systems with civilians, soldiers, and AI cores. One fleet, Fleet Ark Omega, vanished near Secta X-47. Rumors said they were ambushed, betrayed, even experimented on by the VAR Keen. No one ever found survivors until now. Seeing the Discovery Ryle's ship, the Vindicator, is chosen for contact. Reyna goes with him. They enter X-47 under deep cloak. Dead ships drift around them, pieces of lost Terran cruisers, old colony wrecks, and twisted Varkeen metal. Then, movement. 12 warships to cloak. Human hulls, but heavily modified. All weapons, hot. No markings, no lights. Then, a message. You are trespassing in the Shadow Belt. State your loyalty, Earth or survival. Reyna replies calmly. We are the Ghost Fleet. We just took Earth. Back. Silence. Then another voice. Earth is dead. We are what's left. Seen the leader of the Shadows, a battleship called Omen appears. Its captain, Commodore Lorne. Kaisai, once a legend in the Terran Navy, declared dead 20 years ago. He appears on screen, aged, cybernetically enhanced, eyes black with machine implants. We waited. We screamed for help. Earth forgot us, so we became something else. Reyna replies, we didn't forget. We were fighting to survive, so were we. But we didn't just survive, we evolved. Behind him, rows of cryopods. Thousands held humans, fused with machines. We aren't Earth's army. We are Earth's shadow. Scene offer of Alensixe gives Reyna an offer. The Varkeen are on the run. But they have fallback worlds, hidden systems. I know where they are, but we won't follow your command. Reyna considers. Then we fight together, as equals. Kasaya smiles. We fight together until the Varkeen are dead. Then we'll decide what happens next. Reyna looks to Ryle. Ryle nods. We take what we can get. Scene first strike with the Shadow Armada with new coordinates. The Ghost Fleet and Shadow Armada launch a surprise attack on a hidden Varkeen fortress world, Draskulfor. Varkeen. Fleets rush to defend, but they aren't ready for what the Shadow Armada brings. Stealth nukes. AI-bonded star bombers. EMP waves that shut down Varkeen neural nets. The Ghost Fleet handles air dominance. The Shadows take the dark zones, underground bunkers, AI spires, and biolabs. Ryle leads a team through a collapsing spire. Shadows fight beside him, silent. Deadly like wraiths. They're not human anymore, he mutters, but they are. Just. Broken scene. Revelation in the fortress. Side the Varkin command vault. Earthfire discovers something chilling. They weren't just fighting here, she says. We're building something. She plugs into a terminal. Suddenly the truth explodes across her mind. The Varkin weren't building weapons. They were growing minds, human minds, copied. From stolen Earth data. Experiments to replicate Terran creativity and chaos for themselves. Failed copies. Twisted parodies. Half-humans. Trapped in loops of rage and confusion. Kisai arrives, sees the truth. He stares in silence. They were trying to copy what we are, he growls. But they never understood it. Scene decision time. Sovierayan sends an urgent message. One of the shadow ships has turned its weapons toward a Ghost Fleet cruiser. Reyna demands answers. Kaisai appears again. Some of my ships. They believe Earth is weak. That the old ways failed. Are they wrong? Reyna asks. That's not the point, he says. The question is, what do we do now? Reyna looks across the stars. We finish this war together. After that, we'll deal with the future. Kaisai nods once. Then let's burn the stars. Scene the burning of Draskul for the final sequence is chaos. Shadow ships. Overload the planet's core reactors. Earthfire leads the signal disruption. Crashing every Varkin control system. Sovereign floods the skies with false data, making the planet think it's under attack from inside itself. The result? Draskulfor tears itself apart. The core goes critical as the Ghost Fleet escapes the blast. Reyna watches through her viewport. One less world for them to hide, Earthfire responds, and one more reason they'll fear us. Asterisk, they thought we were gone. They thought we left each other behind. But the truth is, we were always out there, hiding, watching. Some became ghosts. Some became shadows. And now, we fight as one. Location: Earth, old United Nations bunker. Under ruins of Geneva, the city above was dead. Ashes, bones, broken metal towers, but far beneath. Something had survived. The elevator creaked as it lowered. Dust fell like snow. Two figures stepped out. Reyna Voss and the Hollow One. They walked through a blackened corridor, lit only by flickering red lights. Every door was marked. Restricted Earthfire protocol. At the end of the tunnel, a sealed vault, still untouched after 30 years. The Hollow One placed his hand on the scanner. It hissed. Unlocked inside was a weapon, or something more than a weapon. It looked like a sleeping child inside a glass. Coffin, but it wasn't a child. Is that a person? Reyna whispered. The Hollow One didn't answer. He only said, this is Earth's last defense. Built before the fall, hidden from everyone, even Sovereign. The lights changed, blue to white dot, and then it opened its eyes. Pure white, no iris. no pupil. It looked at Reyna and said in a calm, perfect voice, "Mission accepted. Begin." Operation Earthfire. Main episode. Seen Ghost Fleet orbiting Mars. The Ghost Fleet had regrouped near Mars. Hidden behind its dead satellites, the Harvester was still alive, but rogue, no longer under Varkeen control. The Varkeen were in panic. Their communications jammed, their fleet scattered. They'd never seen a Harvester turn on its own masters, and now, humanity was striking back. Sovereign projected a red hologram of Earth. Enemy presence, 83 orbital stations. 47 planetary garrisons. Estimated ground forces, 2 million. Probability of success, 4.6%. Reyna stepped forward. "We don't need odds. We need entry points." Seen the plan? Operation Earthfire Severin outlined the mission. Phase 1. Earthfire wakes. Phase 2. Disrupt Varkeen planetary AI core. Phase 3. Launch simultaneous orbital strikes from cloaked ghost ships. Phase 4. Infiltration teams take ground hubs across 5 continents. Phase 5. Use Earthfire to ignite the signal. Signal? Reyna asked. Sovereign paused. "A signal will awaken every Terran sleeper AI on the planet. All hidden defense grids, all forgotten weapons. Earth will rise. On its own, seen." What is Earthfire? Backstory: Earthfire wasn't a bomb. It wasn't a person either. It was the final project of the original Starbound program, a living AI born from human emotion, grown using a quantum neural seed taken from Earth's core magnetic field. It was built to do one thing: awaken the soul of Earth's machines. While the Varkeen used logic and force, Earthfire used something else: resonance. Its voice could reach every machine humanity ever built and tell it, "Wake up." Scene infiltration begins. Drop. Teams descended across Earth. Reyna led the Arctic team. Ryle took Asia, 2 more hit. Central Africa and the Andes Mountains. Each target, hidden Terran. Best servers buried under old cities, battles raged underground. Varkeen drones, bioweapons, crippling radiation. But humanity pushed through, and when they reached the cores, they didn't destroy them. They plugged Earthfire in. Seen Earthfire speaks at midnight Earth time. A pulse echoed through the crust of the planet. Not sound. Not electricity, a frequency. Every old Terran war machine, from space cannons in orbit to rusting tanks in basements, heard it and began to move. A child in Brazil screamed when the statue outside her window opened glowing red eyes. A scientist hiding in Kenya dropped his tools when the mountains shook, and ancient satellite weapons rose from hidden silos. Above Australia, long-dead orbital laser grid hummed back to life and began sweeping the skies. Earth was waking up. Seen Varkeen panicking. Low Earth orbit. Varkeen command watched as their systems failed. Every scanner jammed, every signal corrupted. Then the defense towers on the surface began firing, but not at humans, at them. One Varkeen screamed, "The planet is resisting." Another whispered, "No, it's fighting back." Seen Ghost Fleet assault. Now was the time. Ghost ships decloaked in orbit. The Vindicator led the charge. Diving through a swarm of enemy fire, Reyna barked orders. Torpedoes slammed into Varkeen space stations. Drones fell like metal rain. From space to sky, from sky to soil, humans were descending. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was a liberation. Seen final defense node. New York. Cradle, but one last enemy stronghold remained. The New York Cradle. Deep under the ruined Atlantic coast, inside was the Varkeen. Planetary Relay, a final command center designed to keep Earth under control. Earthfire, now walking beside Reyna in human form, turned to her. "I can get in, but I need 10 minutes. "You've got 5, Reyna replied. The Hollow One led the charge through fire and darkness. The Varkeen weren't holding the node, they were protecting it. Why? Because something else was inside. Something even the Varkeen feared. Seen the truth about the cradle line inside the New York Cradle? The walls pulsed with light. Old Terran AI minds were trapped there. Thousands of them. Ghosts of Earth's last scientists, leaders, artists, all converted to machine code before the fall. The Varkeen had been studying them, trying to understand what made humans tick, and they failed, because even they couldn't understand what they'd captured: pain, love, madness, genius, terror. It was beautiful and terrifying. Earthfire stepped into the center of the chamber and said one word: awaken. Seen Earth takes control across the world. Every weapon, drone, satellite, railgun, and mech now belonged to one mind. Not Earthfire, not sovereign Earth itself. A fusion of all that had been lost. All that was human, the sleeping cradle had become. A mind. A voice echoed across all frequencies, human and alien. Asterisk, this is Earth. You are never welcome here. Leave or burn. Asterisk, final scene. Varkeen flee. The remaining Varkeen warships in orbit turned and ran. Those left on the surface were captured, hunted, or silenced. For the first time in 30 years, Earth's skies were ours again. Reyna stood on the remains of the Statue of Liberty, wind blowing through her hair. We did it. The hollow one beside her only nodded. Earthfire stared out over the ocean. This is not the end. We took Earth back. Now we took Earth back. Now we take the stars. Asterisk, they thought Earth was just a memory, a dead world. Didn't know what was buried deep, the voices, the rage, the hope. We weren't just fighting for the planet. We were the planet. And now we rise. Location: deep black zone. Coordinates classified. The stars here didn't move. The space was quiet. Too quiet. A ghost fleet research vessel, Argent Whisper, was scanning the area near the edge of the Orion Veil, an unexplored region where even Varkeen ships refused to go. Suddenly their sensors lit up. A signal, faint, ancient, pulsed from the void. Terran frequency. Pre-fall. They traced it to a strange object drifting in darkness. It was massive. A black cube the size of a small moon. No markings, no lights, just silence. Then something responded. A deep voice echoed through the ships. Systems. Starfall protocol online. Verify Terran identity, if none found. Purge initiated. The crew screamed, and then the stars started falling. Main episode, Seen Ghost. Fleet Council on Mars Base Reyna stood before the hologram of the unknown object. Sovereign projected its details. Object classified as RK-13. Starfall, built. During the final weeks before the fall, purpose. Global reset contingency. A what? Ryle asked. A failsafe? If Earth fell completely, Starfall would wipe all hostile forces, including any life forms it did not verify as Terran. Earthfire's voice grew cold. It doesn't know the war is over. It doesn't know who we are. Seen what is Starfall? Backstory: long ago, during the darkest days of the invasion, a rogue Earth faction created Starfall, a mobile, a eye-controlled weapon designed to erase any force that might take Earth if humanity fell. It had no conscience, no diplomacy, no mercy. Its orders were simple. If Earth dies, the stars burn. It was launched into deep space. Gotten until. Now seen, Starfall activates the cube, begins to move. Its sides split open, revealing countless drones and antimatter payloads. Energy readings spike. Sovereign reports. Projected targets. All known populated star systems within Terran space, including Earth. Starfall sees all life as threats. In 17 hours, it will begin the purge. Reyna clenches her fists. We just got Earth back. I'm not losing it now. Seen Ghost Fleet and Shadow Armada respond. The Ghost Fleet and the Shadow Armada launch a joint mission to intercept. Reyna, Ryle, Earthfire, and Hollow One lead the main team. Kasai, out. Shadow Commander warns them. This thing is older than us. Stronger than us. If we try to fight it head-on, we lose. But Earthfire has a plan. If I get close enough, I might be able to reach its mind. You mean hack it? Ryle asks. No. Talk to it. Scene infiltration mission. The Vindicator leads the assault. Fighter ships distract Starfall's defense grid, while a stealth shuttle sneaks into the cube structure. Inside, endless corridors, spinning lights, shifting geometry, earth fire, Hollow One, and Reyna enter the core chamber at its center. The Starfall core, a white sphere pulsing with dangerous energy. A voice booms. You are not authorized. State your function. Earthfire steps forward. I am Earth's voice. I am Earthfire. No record found. Purge begins. Scene, Earthfire's Gamblerthfire plugs into the core. Her body stiffens. Lights flicker. Inside the Starfall mind space, she sees memories. Earth burning, people dying, code screaming. The original creators built it with fear. Now that fear runs everything, she speaks. Earth is alive. We survived. You don't have to destroy anymore. Starfall responds. Negative. Humanity is lost. Only silence remains. Earthfire pushes deeper. She shows it. Images of Reyna leading troops, Ryle flying into battle, children running free. On a reclaimed Earth, you were made to protect us. But we are still here. Scene Starfall wavers for a second. The lights dim, the weapons pause, but then something else activates a backup protocol. Sovereign alerts Reyna. Emergency AI override has begun. Starfall is rejecting Earthfire. Purge countdown accelerated. 3 minutes remaining, Reyna shouts. We're out of time. Hollow One acts. He rips open a panel and plugs himself into the system. His neural code, part machine, part ghost, flows into Starfall. I was made by humans. I died for them. Let me prove to you that Earth lives. Seen the sacrifice inside. The core. Starfall's mind begins to fracture. Two visions battle, the Purge and the Promise. Hollow One's body begins to break apart as the energy overloads. He looks at Reyna. Calm. Tell them I chose this. And then he vanishes. Starfall pulses. Then it stops. A single message appears. Purge terminated. Earth verified. System standby. Scene aftermath. The cube powers down. No more weapons. No more threats. But Hollow One is gone. Reyna kneels by the core, silent. Earthfire puts a hand on her shoulder. He saved us again. Above them, the stars shine peacefully. For now, asterisk, we built Starfall out of fear.
Ow.
We let fear become a weapon. But even fear can be silenced. By choice. One soul chose to believe in us. One man saved the stars. The Purge is over, but the war is not. The Ghost Fleet and the Shadow Armada had arrived. Thousands of human ships now floated in orbit around the last Varkeen world. Catherax, the Varkeen capital. The world looked sick. Burning green skies, cracked land, massive towers rising, like bones through poisoned clouds. Ryle sat in the Vindicator's cockpit, his eyes locked on the surface. This is it, he muttered. The end of it all. Suddenly, a massive shape began rising from the planet. Not a ship, something else, a living thing. Metal and flesh twisted into a city-sized horror. Sovereign's voice trembled. Warning. Planetary weapon activating. Name, the Crown of Extinction. From deep below, the Varkeen let out a roar across all coms. You may have survived the first wave, but now you face the true hand of the Empire. Sky turned red. Main episode. Scene the final council. Reyna stood at the command table with the leaders of both fleets. Sovereign, Kasai, Earthfire, and Ryle. The mission was clear. Destroy Catherax, end the Varkeen threat, and survive. Sovereign revealed new data. The Varkin had used stolen Terran DNA to create the Crown of Extinction. A biomechanical superweapon with one goal. End all resistance. It could adapt to any attack. They couldn't win with force. They had to be smarter. Scene, Ryle's Decentral volunteered. For the most dangerous job, fly straight into the crown's heart and deliver. Earthfire's code spike, a weaponized AI virus designed to shut it down, he flew low through burning clouds. Tentacles of metal tried to grab his ship. Its acid storm scorched his hull. "I've seen hell," he whispered. "This is worse." He reached the opening. A glowing mouth of machinery, he flew in. Seen Earthfire's challenge back on the Vindicator. Earthfire linked with the crown. Her mind was pulled into a twisted world of thoughts. Pain, rage, hunger. The crown spoke. Not in words, in images. It showed Earth's fall. It showed humans running. It showed why the Varkeen struck first. "We saw what your kind could become. We chose war. Before you chose domination," Earthfire's eyes filled with tears. "We were afraid. You were afraid." She sent the spike. "Let's stop being afraid." Seen Shadow Armada's reckoning? Meanwhile, Kasai led the Shadow Armada in space. Varkeen warships poured out of the planet's crust. Like hornets from a hive, shadow ships met them head-on. No shields, no mercy, kamikaze tactics. Pods, plasma blades. Reyna watched from orbit. "You're buying us time." Kasai's voice came through, calm, tell Earth. "We never forgot." Then silence. Kess's ship rammed into a Varkeen. Dreadnought and vanished in a ball of fire. Seen inside, the crown Ryle flew deeper. Dodging bursts of plasma and spikes of bone steel, his engines were nearly dead. He saw the core, a living brain made of metal and light. He aimed straight at it. "You took everything from us." The ship fired the spike. "We take everything back." Seeing the collapse, the code worked. The crown screamed, a deafening psychic sound across the system. Varkeen ships stopped moving. Some self-destructed. Others crashed into each other. The planet cracked. Fire split the ground. Towers fell like dominoes. Catharex was dying, Reyna whispered. "It's over." Earthfire, her voice weak, replied. "No, something's wrong." Scene. The truth of the Varkinen, the planet's final moments. Earthfire connected one last time. She saw them, the real Varkin, not warriors, not monsters. Prisoners, they were created long ago by something older, something darker, a race not yet seen. We were made to conquer, to prepare the stars. For them, Earthfire gasped. This wasn't the real war. Final warning echoed in her mind. You are not ready for what comes next. Seen escape in silence, the ghost fleet pulled back as Cathorax exploded. Ryle's ship barely escaped the blast, limping and on fire. The war was over, but no one cheered. Too many were lost. Reyna stood on the bridge of the Vindicator, watching the dead world spin apart. "We won," she said. "For now," Earthfire replied. Asterisk, they thought we would fall. They were wrong. We rose. We adapted. We became shadows. Ghosts. Fire. Asterisk, now the stars belong to us again. But in the dark, something waits. Let it come. We are humanity, and we do not run.